Welcome back to Bluebonnet News Headlines and Heartlines. I'm your host, Vanessa Brazier, owner and publisher of Bluebonnet News of Texas. Today, I am joined by Gerald Kolarik, the current Liberty County Precinct 4 Commissioner. Gerald was appointed to fill the unexpired term of the late Commissioner Leon Wilson and is now running as a Republican in the March 3rd, 2026 primary. County commissioners play a critical role in local government, overseeing county budgets, expenditures, and road and bridges within their precincts. Decisions that affect residents every single day. Today, we'll talk with Gerald about his experience so far, what he's learned since stepping into the role, and why he's asking voters to let him continue serving Precinct 4. Gerald, thank you for joining me. He's a little nervous, y'all.
Little excited to be here. Yes.
Can you introduce yourself to the listeners?
Sure. My name is Gerald Kolarik. I'm old.
No, you are not.
And I'm lived in Dayton my whole life, third generation family here, and so married to my wife Carol for 50 years in October.
That's an achievement in itself.
Yeah, I have two adult children, two daughters who are independent.
Will they be home for Christmas?
They will.
Okay,
they will
that's
be
good.
Home. So yes, we're
recording this
excited.
prior to Christmas, and I'm not sure if it'll come out after Christmas or before Christmas, but either way, it'll be out pretty soon.
Christmas is a big time around this house.
Yes, ours too. We have about 35 people that get together for Christmas. Gets a little wild at my mom's house.
We had 60 at this house for
60
Thanksgiving.
Oh my goodness.
So my oldest sister and I rotate homes on the holiday. So every holiday, the whole Kolarik family and all the kids and grandkids and great-grandchildren get together.
Where do you park them? That gets challenging.
It's very challenging, yes.
Yeah, when you got that many people coming over. Ours just walk over because we live in a family, compound basically that is all these interconnected properties. So you were appointed to this position following the passing of Commissioner Leon Wilson. What was it like stepping into that role, both professionally and personally?
Well, for one thing, I was honored to have been appointed, and it was very somber at first because knowing that Commissioner Wilson had held that position for 10 plus years, and he had an untimely death, and so that was very much on my mind. Everything revolved at that precinct around Leon, and it was his barn and his people.
Strong presence,
very strong presence, and he's very much a people person, and so it was a very humbling experience to step in there. I don't have quite that personality as Commissioner Wilson, but it does shine through every now and then.
So what is your work background? Before becoming a commissioner, you did other professions.
Yes. Primarily I worked for ExxonMobil for 37 years. I started on the ground floor as a mechanical craftsman and specifically a welder. And I went through every progression that they had. I went as a step-up supervisor on turnarounds and in maintenance areas. And then I was promoted to a first-line supervisor, and then I was promoted to a second-line supervisor, and then I was promoted twice more to a senior turnaround manager.
And so that's what you finished as?
Last 12 years, I was a turnaround manager.
When did you retire from that job?
I retired in 2013.
Had you no intentions of ever joining? You had served as a school board member previously.
Yes.
Because that's when I first met you, was when you were a school board member for Dayton.
I was on the Dayton School Board from 1994 to 2009.
See, but now you're telling our age.
Yes. I've already told you I was old. And so I've been married for 50 years. So
yeah, I covered the news back then.
So yes, you did. And so yes, I've been around.
Yeah. That is a privilege, though, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for listeners who may not fully understand the job of a commissioner, can you explain what a county commissioner does in Liberty County?
Well, I think you almost covered county
Everything.
commissioners in your
in the intro.
opening.
Yeah.
But yes, we set and approved the budget, the tax rate. We approve all county purchases.
Anything over 100,000 now, or is it still 50,000? I can't remember. I think the law.
I think it did change to 100,000 this year,
yeah. But y'all still keep an eye on every single expenditure.
Pretty much every expenditure comes through, whether it's in a single line item on the agenda or through the consent agenda. Everything rolls through Commissioner's Court. But
And if you don't, Dwayne Gott does. He's the county auditor. So
you know what I call him? And Dwayne controls the budget.
Yeah, but there's a funny word that you call him.
No, I just said that Dwayne is the orifice of the
orifice.
county.
I accidentally said sphincter the other day, and you're like, no, it's not sphincter, it's orifice.
He restricts the flow of the money.
He does.
Through the county, and we very much appreciate what he does for us.
Well, it's needed.
Absolutely, because you can get in trouble because there's a lot of good things that come before the court, and if we don't have the money to support that, pretty soon you can be upside down.
And you want someone who's being very fiscally conservative with taxpayer dollars. So I think most people want that.
That is Dwayne, and that's why I called him the orifice.
Yes, that's funny though. There's frequent moments when you say things that are kind of like surprising, and that gets a lot of laughs.
Well, orifices are used in the petrochemical industry, and they are a restriction device.
Yes.
So that's why
you related it to him. That's funny. So Precinct 4 residents often care mostly about their roads and infrastructure. What have you learned about the condition of roads and bridges in your precinct since taking office, and what are you doing to... I know you're limited, but maybe you can explain to people.
The roads are not good.
Mm-hmm.
The roads need a lot of attention, and hence they need a lot of money that simply doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So when I came into the job, we've virtually had $600,000 for materials,
which is nothing.
Well, it is not, because I've done a little research on what it costs to asphalt service a road, and it's about $400,000 a mile. And so we don't do the asphalting. We're doing the chip sealing, but chip sealing doesn't have the life cycle of asphalt or concrete, and so it's all very much temporary. But you have to do what you can afford.
Correct.
And so we had some equipment issues. They were having to rent a milling machine that grinds up the road and mixes in the new materials. And so we have a winter project going on right now. And actually, it's a collaborative effort from 3 of the precincts. Greg Arthur had an old milling machine with a Detroit diesel engine on it that runs. I had one with the engine blown, and Commissioner Karbowski needed a water truck. So we made like a 3-way swap, and Commissioner Karbowski sent Greg $5,000 for this. Oh, and these are antiques. They're mid-90s, but.
I thought for a minute y'all Frankensteined a truck together and made it.
No,
So y'all just swapped things.
So yeah, we have this thing, and we're putting his front end onto our back end. And,
it is a little bit of a Frankenstein project.
It is, but it's going to save the county some money. Ultimately. So we were able to buy a pneumatic roller.
How much do they cost?
It was $110,000 is my recollection, and it was used.
Yeah.
And so we're buying equipment as we can.
Yeah.
We're paying off some of the debt we have through our capital lease payments, and we're hoping that come this spring we get some decent weather. We also bought a chip spreader from Commissioner Karbowski. So we're pretty well set up to go if given the weather to.
Not from him personally, but from the precinct.
No, from the precinct, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. I completely understand. I know that he's had a lot of help getting some roads done over there because he had ExxonMobil and some others come in, and they were able to do some road repairs after they had used, like with a road use agreement.
I will say he's figured out how to make this
how to make it work,
how to make it work, and how to to get the monies from these pipelines that come through.
So maybe you can learn a few things from him.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we actually have a joint pipeline that came through this year, and we're almost to the point to do the final write-about and then see what we can, what we're going to be able to recover for road damage. This heavy equipment, the county roads are designed for roughly 58,000 pounds.
And you have big trucks coming
these
through.
Trucks are way heavier than that, and so
Tearing up the roads
they tear
and the
up
bridges.
roads. One of the first things I did was meet with Commissioner Tom Ramsey over in Harris County.
Is that the one that borders your precinct?
Yes, he does. It comes all the way right there. Yeah, we border Cedar Bayou with him, and he lets us know not to put any more water in there.
Oh,
but I sent over a list of questions that I was going to cover with him. You obviously didn't do that for me.
No, you didn't get ahead of time questions.
So that he would know what I was going to ask him. And when I got there, he had filled out the whole thing. I've got it in my office. He responded to everything in another color ink so that I could see it.
Like a reference point for everything.
Yes, he was very helpful. But one of the things I want to impress upon this, he's a professional engineer too. He's a civil PE, and what he said was that one overweight truck is equivalent to 5,000 automobiles.
Oh my goodness!
And so that's the problem that Precinct 4 is facing.
Well, how do you keep them off the roads?
So do you ever drive down the interstates and you see the police officer and everybody slows down?
Yeah.
And then when they get past him, they speed up?
Yeah.
We have a weights and measures division in the sheriff's office, and they come out and they help and they write tickets, as well as our constable Precinct 4. They're trying to help us control these roads, but
there's just too much of it.
There's too much. It's a constant bombardment that was exacerbated by the closure of Waco Street.
Yeah.
So Waco Street
overpass.
is still open, but only about 5% of it got closed. But that's the part that tied to.
So what street are they
Highway
going
90.
down?
They're taking County Road 601 over to County Road 607, and also coming down 605, which is right in front of the precinct barn, and the road's in pretty bad shape. But that's one of the issues with the whole precinct is the west side is the most heavily trafficked.
Yeah.
It's
just growing
there's
so
a
fast.
lot more roads in other areas. Although we have 180 miles of roads in Precinct 4, it's where all the traffic is. We've got concrete plants, and they're hauling aggregate and concrete.
Heavy stuff.
Heavy stuff. And then because of the congestion in Dayton, they're traversing the county to get to from 90, 99 to 1960, and then down to 146. So Dayton's
Could some of this be alleviated if Dayton just had a bypass?
Absolutely.
But where would we put it, and who's going to pay for it?
Right. There's a plan. There's a thoroughfare plan with HGAC that Judge Knight's been working on for a long time. But again, all these plans take a lot of time.
Oh, a long time.
They're a long time. I don't know how long we talked about the overpass on Highway 90, but the construction finally started, and so now we're in that phase of it. And the pain is Waco Street got closed.
Oh, yeah.
And so all the pressure, Dayton is just
When Cleveland got their
snarl.
bypass open, it had been a project that Tookie Kirkham had worked on for like 20 years. So that tells you how fast those things work.
right.
They're not getting in a hurry on it. So county budgets can be complex. What has surprised you most about the budgeting and expenditure process since becoming commissioner?
Well, again, there's really tight controls. Everything requires a PO. So the need is generated at the precinct level. Then you go to the purchasing department for them to issue a PO, and then you go purchase your material, and then you get the receipt, and then it goes to the auditor's office, and then finally it makes its way to the treasurer's office, and they cut a check. There's a lot of steps involved in getting buying a part and having it paid.
So with all with all the problems that you've got with roads in your precinct, how do you prioritize which ones get attention?
That's a really good question. So the focus is on the more heavily traveled, what we'll call an artery road, although that doesn't meet the TxDOT definition.
Yeah.
But the major roads, we're trying to keep those, passable so we don't tear people's cars up. And we do get a lot of complaints. That's the thing. I really knew that roads were going to be an issue, but what I didn't know was that drainage was right there with it.
Oh,
It's complaint 1 and 1A. Unfortunately, drainage issues, the folks are way more passionate about because, it can impact their homes.
Their house can get flooded, their properties, their
properties.
Farms.
When your property won't drain, you've got a problem. So, again, one of the things I was warned about is that the county government moves very slowly. So, if you're used to making things happen, then
it's an adjustment.
You're going to have to make an adjustment because, again, I came from the turnaround world where you worked 24/7. You took a unit down, you did all the work, you took it apart, you did all the work, you put it back together, and in 6 to 8 weeks, you were back up and running.
Can't do that here.
You don't do that with the county, but
a lot of oversight.
But the point I wanted to make is, having folks understand that there is a big drainage study going on that was GLO funded, and I think right now we're looking at July of 26 to getting their reports. They've shown us a little bit of this in Commissioner's Court on how it's going to work, and it's going to be pretty darn awesome. The thing is, it's going to expose all the areas, and that need attention. We'll be able to put them in a seriatim order. The problem's going to be the funding.
It's always the funding.
It's always the funding. But the difference between drainage and roads is that there tends to be a little more grant money associated with drainage than there is with roads.
But won't the developers also pay for some of that because they'll have to put in place, they'll have to live up to Liberty County's standard for that when they build or when they put something new in?
They do, but it's just associated with their plat.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's not for the whole area.
So when they submit a plat for approval, it goes again to LJA, and they have their hydrology experts look at it, and then they have the others, folks that are associated with road building, and if it meets the standard, then it's approved. But it's really only to handle the water that they shed.
That they shed on their property.
Shed into the drainage systems. But that's the other thing is there's just not grants available to go repair roads. I know that at the Commissioner's Court meeting yesterday, you were like, "Can we get some grants for this jail?"
Right. Can you
get
us some experts to help with grants?
We all struggle with money, right? And so having sufficient amount of money to go do these things, there's a great deal of need and a minimal amount of resource.
The county jail is projected to cost $100 million, the new jail, correct? Does that just like shock you a little bit?
Oh, absolutely. I had no idea. The thing about a jail is I recently attended mandatory training for county commissioners in Galveston, and one of the things one of the sessions were put on by the Jail Standards Commission, and you can't just the one thing you can't just put them in a tent. We think we want to punish people.
They have certain rights.
Once someone's arrested, they have to be processed through. Most will need a court-appointed attorney. Those fees are very expensive. We provide health care, housing,
food.
And it has to meet certain standards. So it's very expensive to house an inmate anywhere. But yes, we need the facilities to do that. And so right now we're trying to bring up our current jail up to a standard that they will release the hold that they have on us. And
so you can at least bring some of the inmates back in.
But part of that process is that we have to pursue
A new jail. Well, the old jail eventually, I was told, I think Jay may have told me that they may eventually use the old jail as a juvenile area or some other. It's not going to just sit there and go to waste. It'll be used for something else.
I'm sure they will come up with a suitable use of that facility.
Yeah.
But
until then,
that's
it's just conversations. So, what accomplishment are you most proud of during this short time as a commissioner?
Well, so I have one at the precinct level, and I have one at the county level.
Okay, give it to us.
So the precinct level is the first week I was shown this bridge on County Road 6494, and so I looked at it and I said, "Oh my goodness, it's a bridge with a dam on Long John Creek, which now has a lot more water flow in it due to development upstream and in Encino Estates, huge subdivision."
Yeah.
And so the dam was undermined and it was compromising the bridge pilings. And so week one, I saw it for the first time. Week two, I took the emergency management coordinator, AJ Johnson, out there to take a look at it. Said, "AJ, got to help me find some money to fix this bridge." And so between the two of us, we were working with LJA, and AJ was able to get the TCEQ out there to come do an inspection. Oddly enough, the timing of that inspection and their preliminary report, which was not good, TxDOT did their regular maintenance inspection of that bridge, set up a meeting with me and told me I had 30 days to make significant improvements or they were going to shut that down. That would have stranded like 40 families back there because it's one way in, one way out. And so...
and what did they expect you to do?
Make an improvement. Yes, there was no guidance on how to. It was just...
So what did you do?
Thou shalt. So, again, LJA came through for us. We had a...
So they came up with a plan?
They came up with some ways to do this, and they brought in... So a couple of things had to happen. Mm-hmm. They brought in a specialty inspection company. They flew these folks in, one from Colorado, one from New Hampshire, and they came and did some specialty sonar inspections of those footings for that bridge. And what that revealed was that the one in question still had significant amount of... It was buried deeply enough that it had not been compromised to the point where you could not fix it. Mm-hmm. So the plant, and then they brought in this specialty company called U.S. Fusions, and they did this blanket filled with grout. Mm-hmm. So if you go out there, you can see now that we stopped the flow of water underneath the dam. It goes over this blanket that was filled with grout.
Is it like a riprap type thing, or?
Yeah, I mean, because it looks like little pillows everywhere that were blown up the way this fabric was sewn across there. So
So it just prevents erosion or something, or
it stopped the water flow underneath.
Underneath,
because the water underneath had found a channel to the bridge pilings.
Oh no!
And so, so immediately,
eventually, it would have failed.
TxDOT put us on the 5-year plan to get us on there. They have a special name for whatever it is to replace bridges, but it wouldn't be funded until 2030, and so we were going to have to figure out some way to keep that thing open. And LJA, along with the county employees, I'll give credit to, I have a superintendent, Chris Vining, and then I have Gerald Baker and Tony Thrasher, and we all worked with the engineers, and LJA brought out their bridge specialists. And again, I can't say enough how helpful they've been. But in the meantime, I spent 1/3 of the road and bridge material budget.
You had to.
But the bridge is sound, and now TxDOT is even talking about maybe taking it off that list for replacement. But it's going to continue to require maintenance because any huge rain events are going to remove these heavy stones that we've put in place, and we'll have to replace them.
God forbid we have another Harvey.
I saw a video of the water coming through that in Harvey, and it is just
Frightening.
astounding.
Yeah.
It is just
And we've had more development since Harvey.
a lot more. So, that's
It could be devastating.
Anyway, so that's it on the precinct level. Again,
On the county level?
on the county level. So we were seeing a lot of variances that were coming across that developers were asking for. And some of these variances are that we need to change our guidelines to support them. It's like when they put these detention or retention ponds in, our standard calls for a concrete bottom, sloped concrete lined bottom. Well, most of the developers now are using these detention ponds as amenities. And so the way they're built is slightly different than those that would drain completely. And so there's no need to put a concrete bottom that's going to be underwater all the time.
Right.
So that's a common variance. But they also, a developer would submit to have their roads go into the 2-year maintenance program, in which case they maintain them for a 2-year period. We inspect them at the beginning of that 2-year, and then 2 years later, if they're still up to par, then they're accepted into the county maintenance system, and then we own the maintenance.
Then you're we were repairing them from now on out.
That's right, and we were accepting the these roads with exceptions noted from the engineering reports, and in my mind, there was no incentive for the developer to go make the repair timely. He could make it 30 days before he said, okay, the 2 years is up, and we don't know if that repair was going to stay in place for a while. So I've been able to change the way we think about that. Also, there's a lot of gravel pits north part of the county, and they need to have FEMA, TCEQ, Texas Parks and Wildlife. They all have to have a sign off from them before they're good to go. And I did not want the county to accept them until all those federal agencies and state agencies had approved them. The risk at the FEMA level is that it could compromise everyone in the county's ability to get flood insurance.
Oof.
And so, there's good business reasons why you should not do that. And so I think I've been able to look at things and put into perspective what are the consequences of some of our actions. What risk are we taking by granting these? And some of these seem pretty harmless on the front side, but they could have some real bad downside to them if
we don't
things
want
don't go as well. So those are the two things.
Well, communication matters to your constituents, the residents of your area. So how do you prefer to hear from them, and how do you make sure that their concerns are addressed? Do they call and leave messages? Do you put out updates on your Facebook page? Or, I mean, I don't know. I'm asking.
So
I'm just asking.
So I don't have a Facebook page.
You might need to get one. Everybody tries to keep up with stuff.
So I have found that I'm going to need a Facebook page if I'm going to run for this position, and so that's one of the things that we're going to be doing in the short term.
If elected, you still need one too, so you can have a blast out to all your residents.
Exactly. So there's a couple of ways. There's more than a couple of ways, but most people call.
Yeah, they call your office.
They call the office, and so we have a work order system there. So they call in, they tell us who they are, what their number is, what their issue is, and then we do follow up with that. And sometimes they're not satisfied until they talk to the commissioner. And some of those can be very lively. Yeah,
lively is a good word for it.
And the other thing is they can go into the county's website, and there's a PCT4 file, and so they'll
like an email link or something?
It's a link that sends an email to me.
That's a good way to do
it. In there. And so when I first went on there, I thought I needed to do a county Facebook page. I made a pretty good follow-up list, and then kind of reality set in, and so all of a sudden your attention from trying to implement all these new things,
You have too many fires to put out.
or they got distracted by
Yeah.
a bridge that was about to be condemned.
That was a big one. Yeah, I understand. Well, Liberty County is continuing to grow. Every year we have more people moving in. But so what does smart growth look like to you, especially in terms of infrastructure and county spending?
Smart growth. Our growth is going to be dictated by the economy, and because the legislature has county development set up to the point where you can't refuse it. You can make sure it meets your county regulations, but you can't tell them not to come.
No, because then they can go to court and get rid of mandamus and
They can get liquidated damages if we don't approve their plan if it meets those conditions by 30 days. A lot of folks believe that we're just allowing these folks in, but we don't really have a choice. If they meet the county's regulations, we have to approve them.
Do you think state law needs to change to protect counties? I mean, because there's been a lot of development that's happened in Liberty County, some positive, some negative.
So the biggest lobbyists in the state are developers.
So you're saying that's going to be a uphill battle and you probably will not win.
I don't think we're going to win anytime soon because that's where the money is pumping into Austin, and Austin pumps out the laws.
Yeah.
and we have to comply.
And the developers have the leverage.
It is a developer-friendly state.
Yeah. So what role do you believe fiscal responsibility should play in county government? I think we kind of touched on that a little bit with...
Fiscal responsibility is very important to the extent that county budgets, your taxes, your taxable values can't go up but 3.5% a year. The legislature controls that. They can control how much the county through the CAD can charge a property owner, but and so they say you're managing your own business, but you really can't raise taxes
beyond a certain point.
3.5%.
Yeah.
And so if you just look at the rate of inflation, you know that we're trailing almost every year at that rate. And
the longer we put off projects like the county jail, the more expensive they're going to become.
Absolutely. The money trails the development by several years. And so the people are here and they're looking for county services that may or may not exist because they're coming from larger counties that
where it already exists,
that have huge infrastructures and have huge tax bases. So what they're piling into is a farming community that is growing at a rate that,
and then going, where's my law enforcement? Where's my fire departments? And
where's everything? Because it's incredible what Commissioner Ramsey has over there in his precinct and the other county commissioners in Harris County. But we don't compare. I mean, we are the little sisters of the poor when it comes to...
A lot of us would prefer that growth did not come to us at this rate. I would prefer still seeing rural settings and things like that, and I'm sure a lot of people here would too.
So I heard something very interesting. A developer group met, and they really thought that Brazoria County was going to grow faster than Liberty County, and that's not been the case.
Can we get them to go to Brazoria County? Can we encourage them?
No, because our land is cheaper. And we lack enforcement of regulations, and they know it.
So we need to raise the prices. Don't sell the farmland.
Don't sell the farm. That's
Don't
right.
sell the farm.
But it's hard to tell these folks who have struggled and worked so hard all their lives to not sell the farm.
Or the heirs after the family dies to not sell the farm. That's hard because they're just like, they may not have an attachment to Dayton.
Well,
or, they may be living elsewhere. So
what happens when big estates are willed down to someone?
Yeah.
There's estate taxes.
Yeah.
And so they have to sell parts of the farm
just to pay the
to
taxes.
get it. And so then when they offer them a price for all the farm, it's just easier to cash out at that point.
Unless you have a living trust, I think you can it automatically goes over to your family, but that's another issue.
Right.
So how is working collaboratively with other commissioners and county officials? How important is that to you, even when there are disagreements? Because y'all are not going to agree on everything.
No, that's right. And I've had great communications and working relations with the other three commissioners.
Yeah.
That's not been a problem. We do not always agree.
That's okay.
And that's okay. I mean, I think General George Patton said about his command staff, he said, if everyone's thinking alike, then somebody's not thinking.
Oh.
And so, that's kind of how we're positioned.
Yeah.
And so you have to respect everyone's opinion. And then...
And everyone's looking out for their own precinct.
But that's right. But we also have to look out for the entire county.
Yes.
So we have to do what's great for the county and not just great for precinct. I mean, we're not just aligned
just trying to get
to
the
our
most
specific
for yourself.
precinct. Yeah. If we are, then the county's not going to progress.
Right.
And we need the county to progress at this point because the growth is coming. It's here. We're on the doorstep. The dam is about to break, and we've got to address it.
Yeah. If voters allow you to continue serving after the primary, what are your top priorities for your term?
So this is going to sound like an old Precinct 4 problem, but I really think from a road maintenance standpoint, we really need a unit road management system where it's a single county system with a professional engineer managing it, where they rate and rank all the roads, and they put the county's money where it's needed the most.
Instead of just divvying it up.
Yeah, instead of divvying it up, because the formulas were based on mileage for so many years and not the traffic rate. And that's one of the reasons why I brought up Tom Ramsey's quote on what one truck is. We're seeing hundreds of trucks daily across these county roads.
Yeah.
And it's just a tough situation.
Every precinct has different challenges.
Everyone has different
Precinct
challenges.
2 has the most roads, but they also don't have the development, the same level of development as Precinct 3 and Precinct 4. Precinct 1 is catching up because they're getting a lot of stuff down there too. But Precinct 2, and I kind of like it this way where Precinct 2 doesn't have all that. We have sand and gravel and things like that, but I'm going to keep buying land every chance I get and maybe keep them further away.
Well, that's what Will Rogers said about land. He says, I don't know anything about real estate except they're not making any more of it.
They're not making any more of it.
So
yeah, my husband says,
buying.
How much land do you need? And I'm like, as much as I can see. Everything that touches mine. That's everything that touches mine.
To go back to your question, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
What's your main priority?
Yeah.
We have a whole lot of ad hoc procedures in the precinct, and we need to document them, and then we need to follow them and then critique what we're doing and improve those procedures. One of the things that I see that the precinct on the precinct level and at the county level is I don't see a continuous improvement initiative, and there's no one single person in the county that can drive change in any of the other departments. They are elected by, and they only report to their bosses once every 4 years.
Yeah.
And so
that's the voters.
That is the voters.
Yeah.
And so I would like to see continuous improvement within the precinct and in the county, so that we're looking at, instead of saying that's just the way we've always done something, because there are a lot of things we do just because that's the way we've always done it.
But you want to say, why are we doing it that way? And
well,
can
I
it
think
be
that
improved?
question needs to be asked.
Yeah.
There's always a better way to do things.
Yeah.
But you have to open your mind. You have to look.
Yeah. Sometimes it could be just a matter of technology.
It could be. Didn't want to talk about technology so much because Nick Dennis is overwhelmed right now.
He is, but Nick does a good job.
Love Nick.
He does a good job, and he always has a good attitude.
I wish I had his energy.
Yeah.
But, we're behind in technology. So everywhere you look, we're kind of behind.
Yeah.
But again, we don't have the resources. We don't have trillions of dollars of assets on the ground like in Chambers County or Harris County.
Yet.
It's coming.
Gulf Inland's growing, so you'll
Gulf
have a
Inland's
lot coming
growing,
from
and we're
Gulf
real
Inland.
proud of that facility and the folks
Yeah.
there. The thing is, though, to attract the best businesses, you have to grant abatements.
And that takes a while to recoup.
And that takes, you're looking at
years.
kind of a 10-year cycle before you start realizing that at the county level. And so, you want it. You want good jobs. You want good paying jobs. You want good clean jobs, high-tech jobs. But every one of those have 5 or 6 sites selected in the county and in the country, and they're looking for the best deal with the best access, best location, and the best starting point from a tax abatement. So it's a catch-22. It's a double-edged sword that we're sitting on right here.
Well, so what would you like Precinct 4 residents to understand about you that they may not already know?
I've really earned my living, and I have an annuity. I'm honest, and I have integrity, and I want to do what's right for the county, and I want to try to make improvements so that we can see some of those improvements coming, and I think I have the experience by far in my life lessons and what I've done, what I've accomplished. And I think I can use some of these skills to better influence the county going forward and be one of the commissioners to help us face this new challenge of the growth.
So I wrap up every one of these headlines and heartlines with rapid fire questions, and they're fun. They're just meant to be like single word or short answers. Okay, there are no gotchas. Okay, so you just say the first thing that comes to mind. Favorite back road in Precinct 4? Do you have a favorite back road? I know what mine is in Precinct 2, but...
Hey, it's got to be the loop on County Road 6494, so every
you like
time
that loop?
But when I'm back... Oh, no, the road's in bad shape.
Oh.
But I'm out there at that dam, and I've made that loop many, many times.
But that's not your favorite one.
It's got to be. I've been
It's
there more
got to
often.
be. You've been there
than
more
else.
often, yeah. So one word to describe Liberty County.
Growing. Congested. I'm sorry. It's 2
congested.
words. It's got to be 2 words. Growing and congested.
Okay, 2 words are fine. Phone call or face-to-face conversations?
Face-to-face.
Biggest lesson you've learned since taking office?
Biggest lesson I've learned since taking office. Wow.
Is that a good question?
That's a tough question. You have to have thicker skin than I thought I needed.
That is true.
Than I thought I needed coming in.
That is true. You can't let things get to you. I've been in journalism for 20-something years, and things don't get to me the way that they may have in the 90s.
Yeah.
Let's see. Best advice you've ever received in public service? Or you can just say best advice you've ever received in general.
Well, patience. You have to have patience in public service, and because we're always very reactive if we're not being proactive. So we react to things, and to do this and do this well, you've got to be patient and have a good plan.
If you weren't involved in county government at this stage in your life, what would you be doing?
Fishing.
Do you have a favorite fishing spot?
Oh, no.
No.
I'll never reveal that.
Oh, come on.
No, I have 5 grandchildren. They range in age from a senior at Texas A&M and to 2.5-year-old twin girls in San Antonio. So Carol's been making quite a few trips alone this year.
Yeah.
And so if I weren't in this job, I would be with
taking more
grandchildren.
trips. Yeah. So what keeps you grounded when the job gets tough?
Knowing that it's got to be done, and it might as well be me.
That's a good one. Well, that's it. So I'm just going to say thank you for taking the time to join me today and sharing your perspective on serving Precinct 4. As the March 3rd, 2026 Republican primary approaches, conversations like these will help voters better understand the people behind the offices and the responsibilities they carry. For Bluebonnet News Headlines and Heartlines, I'm Vanessa Brazier. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.